Welcome back. You got Will and I Man here from the Block Runner, MetaZone, and Rovi. And guess what? There's other stuff happening besides Bitmap.
I never would have guessed, dude.
Yeah.
I thought like Bitmap was the absolute pinnacle of like
humanity.
of human achievement. Yeah. But as awesome as it is and as like revolutionary it can be, yeah, dude, there's other shit happening that we've got to keep our finger on that pulse, dude.
That's right.
You never want to be locked in.
Yeah, you don't want to be in the party and like there's someone that knows more than you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That's why we always have this guy here, dude. You know, or wait, hold up.
You want to be this guy.
Oh, you do want to be this guy. Yeah, this is a good guy.
Yeah.
This is a good guy to have around.
That's right.
So
yeah,
that's
you
us.
want him at the party because you can learn something from him.
Right. But yeah, usually he doesn't show up.
All right.
Because he's got other shit he's thinking about, you know?
So what we're looking at today is Ethscriptions. So we're looking at this tweet and we're like, okay, something's happening. Something's happening on Ethereum. Congratulations, TJ.
Thank you.
It's finally happening, TJ. You're coming back to your corner,
he's
dude.
cool again.
Yeah.
It's finally cool again, dude.
Yeah, it's so cool that this guy's calling it Ethscriptions. So this is probably the fastest adopted protocol ever, according to this guy.
Yeah. We need some fact checkers on that, but yeah, we'll just go with this word for now.
And the first 7 days, look at that hockey stick.
Up and to the right.
Up and to the right.
That's what we like to see, right?
That's right. So we're looking at 300 Ethscriptions, and the links will be in the description. But
off of the name alone, you can kind of...
Did you know that we're more than just a YouTube channel? We also built MetaZone, the first app store for the metaverse. Buy, sell, and explore a new class of digital assets like our flagship game Rovi.ai. Support us by collecting your digital assets through MetaZone at metazone.io. Like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated. All right, back to the video.
Probably already like preemptively like predict what it is we're about to describe, right?
Yeah. About to inscribe.
Right.
Yeah. So what is Ethscriptions? So basically they're using data fields within a block of Ethereum. They're leveraging that and they're inscribing data into that field.
Which sounds very
similar, right?
To ordinal theory, right?
Right.
Instead of using, I don't know what the hell a data field is, but apparently it's some sort of unit within an Ethereum, the Ethereum state.
Well, so it's not the same because remember, ordinals you're inscribing onto a satoshi.
Oh yeah.
Right. And ordinals is a numeric theory assigning an ID to each satoshi.
Right.
Therefore, making each satoshi a non-fungible unit.
Correct.
Right. And so, but with Ethscriptions, they're just embedding data into a block.
Okay.
So, which is cool.
But they're never going to have like the historical provenance associated to any of these things, right? That can be leveraged by using ordinal theory because they can't like tie like OG Ethereum
ETH
blocks.
I'm sure you can if you come up with some ordinal counterpart to Ethereum. I'm sure you could.
I figured that's what this is, but
yeah, I
guess this is whoever developed this. I think his name is in here somewhere at the very beginning of this tweet thread. Like it drops who actually built this protocol.
Let's see. Inscriptions on-chain created by Dumb Name Numbers.
All right. Dude, that's exactly what I expected his name to be.
Who's passionate about making Ethereum less expensive and easier for the average user. How expensive? You can inscribe for about $1. Right? Whoa. Very similar to ordinals.
Right.
And so there's a tweet in here that kind of describes the details, but it's very simple. It's leveraging the field called call data within Ethereum transaction.
So why would you want to do that, dude? I thought Ethereum was already, fully equipped to generate, digital value through smart contracts. And, there's already ERC 721, 1155s. We got ERC 20s. We already had an ICO madness, right?
Yeah. So
what the fuck?
That's a great question, dude.
Yeah.
So what's happening here is that when you have an NFT, it's pointing to something somewhere. Right, IPFS, Arweave, your own server. It's always pointing to something. Right. With Ethscriptions, it doesn't point anywhere. The data is there already in the block.
Dang.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's interesting. I mean, that feels viable enough, I guess, but obviously inspired by what's going on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Hence, like the similar look and feel.
Yeah.
Right. Just a different application, I guess, different protocol in a sense, but tapping into that same narrative you just brought up. Artifacts, right? That's what in Casey Rodimer's theory, he regarded these things as Bitcoin artifacts, right? This is actually embeddable, and now it's always going to be part of like the Bitcoin blockchain data, right? That's where the value lies. So I guess in Ethereum sense, man, we've created multi-billion-dollar markets without actually ever doing that. Apparently.
Yeah, correct.
I don't know how many people actually understand, I guess, smart contracts to that degree.
That's a good question. I don't know if people understand like what an NFT is.
Yeah, because we've been getting into like hot debates.
Yeah.
Like in these like Twitter spaces, like with the Bitmap doubters and stuff like that. It's like, you guys all say you're building on Bitcoin, but you're not actually. The metaverse can't be on Bitcoin. It's like literally every single thing is like embedded on chain.
Right.
Everything. Until then, say you're building like with it or something like that, or alongside it, or for it maybe.
Yeah.
So in the sense, like Ethereum has always been that. Like you've never been really building on Ethereum. You've been building
using Ethereum
alongside it or something like that. You know. Yeah. So, but that's not. I don't think that's very well understood.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, and it's, you know, not until you become technical and really like understand like the nitty gritty about like how things work.
Yeah.
You won't really understand that. And so people just take the narrative from whoever's talking.
This is actually fascinating. I'm wondering how this is going to morph, because I remember like people got flack for, doing PFP projects or whatever. And like, if it wasn't on IPFS, it's like, it's not a real digital thing. It's not Web3. Right?
Yeah. Now we've graduated.
Yeah. Now it's
if
like,
it's not on chain, like embedded in there, it's not a real asset.
If this narrative really becomes like the social consensus around true digital, on-chain economics is like, dude, all of a sudden all NFTs are void, like moot, because like they're not truly on-chain.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is like the more on-chain you get, the more limited you are. Of
course,
right? The image is not as high quality, right? For example, right? You can't update it, right? What if it's like an asset for a game that needs to be updated because you've used it, right?
Yeah.
Like you're limited. So there's going to be markets for this stuff. Right?
That's a really good point. And people said that about Ordinals too. It's like, this is like for the high class stuff. Like there's a reason why Bugatti is minting their stuff using Ordinals, right? Because that's like a consumer demographic that would pay like a premium to have access to like something that's truly that like
well, it's Bitcoin. That adds to the narrative.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, it's better to have something of that, I guess, that potential value on chain to something like the most secure network, as opposed to some sort of like secondary layer, or I guess like in an IPS system where, smart contracts pointing to it, whatever.
Yeah.
So this is fascinating. This is an interesting little thing. I think it's going to get a lot of hate because, of course, it's piggybacking on the idea of ordinals. And it's like, man, they're just copying, which if you look into the JSON structuring of like a lot of these like initial Ethscriptions, they're basically like complete ripoffs.
How did you get to that? I know it's on here, right?
You can see recent Ethscriptions on the right.
Recent Ethscriptions.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. This looks pretty familiar.
Yeah, and we shouldn't knock it too much because it's a JSON structure, right? So you kind of need that in order to kind of leverage it to a certain extent, right? But nonetheless, they're very similar to how it's structured on Bitcoin, right?
Pretty much. There's like a couple of differences here. They implemented like an ID to these. I don't think they're called ESC20 tokens. So it's like a whole new token environment is being spun up.
Yes.
From this, just like, on a BRC20 token. So man, this is going to cause quite a rift, I think, within the Ethereum community. Bitcoin is causing a rift, or it already did, because there's the maxis and shit.
Yeah.
But like, this is even worse. Like the Ethereum communities, man,
it's like we got smart contracts and you're putting text in the block field.
Right. And if you're talking about bag holders, like there's going to be a whole market of people holding like Bored Apes, all these NFTs, and someone's going to create like an ESC 721 protocol where you got to burn your Bored Ape and actually put it on chain.
Yeah.
Just like people are proposing on the Ordinal side to do that with the OMBs and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's already been done. Some of these Bored Apes are being burnt to be like truly on chain.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So holy fuck, dude! Now we got ourselves some juicy action on Ethereum.
Yeah, and so we're gonna see like Ethmap eventually spawn up here.
That's right. I think somebody. I remember seeing him on Twitter. He already saw this coming once Ethscriptions became a thing. He's like, you know what? He's already inscribed like probably like all the rare ETH maps in anticipation that this is gonna.
Yeah. There has to be multiple locations where Ethscriptions can be done, because I think to create an inscription it says images only for now. But we saw JSON data and all that, so I'm not sure if this is accurate.
Yeah, I mean, but also let's contextualize like how early this is. This is like, I think like a week old, maybe 2 weeks at most.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go back to how, like, whenever we first discovered ordinal theory, dude, there was nothing.
Yeah, it was just a Git book.
There was no infrastructure for nothing. Like, everything was, people were starting to inscribe their first ordinals.
Man, I remember reading that Casey Rodimer blog post. I was like, this is cool.
Yeah, and they were like, dude, how do we do stuff? It's like, you pretty much can't unless you had like a full node, a Bitcoin full node.
That's right.
That was the only way to do anything back in those like first few weeks.
Yeah.
And we're like, dude, at some point, once, they build out the infrastructure and like the servicing comes in, then we can like start to play around. Yeah. And a couple months later, sure enough, it all came in and we're fucking full in now. Yeah. That's all it takes is a few devs,
Yeah. All of a sudden you have Bitmap, the biggest Ordinals project in like a week.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of building obviously left. Who knows? We'll see. I guess our job now is to like,
follow up,
check in on this at least once a week. I'd say make sure, see what's happening, see the progress.
Yeah, once they have like a market cap ranking or some sort of ranking system.
Yeah, to these ESC20s, and of course like an actual proper marketplace for these things where users can, and then maybe like a MetaMask adoption, something like that, where you could plug in your ESC20s and all that.
Man, this is wild, dude.
Yeah, I know. Fucking. I told you, dude, bear market is the best time to be in this space.
Totally agree.
The bull markets suck. They're fucking boring, dude. They're lame.
It's all fake news and
we're
scams.
Just covering pump and dumps all day long, basically. Like, this is the actual ground floor of, like,
that's
cool shit happening,
Yeah, speaking of cool shit, we haven't forgotten about Boss. Yeah. It's quite an in-depth kind of breakdown of what this is, but...
Yeah, we're going to... Okay, yeah.
It's a Bitcoin operating system, so to speak.
Proposed... But the team at Oshi was like one of our first BRC20 videos. Right. One of our first like introductions really into this like, ordinal space. And it was fascinating what they're trying to do. Merlin and
Merlin,
friends.
Dude. Yeah. He's definitely a wizard.
Yeah, dude. If you've been following their like development storyline, the lore behind these guys.
Yeah. He's got 5 projects under him.
But I think more than that, probably like 10 at this point, right? Yeah. It's gonna be an interesting case study of like how much value one
dev can do.
One or two devs, yeah. And then, like, I don't know, I guess like what gets inspired as a result, like, more devs hopefully hop in and actually start picking up on these initiatives. But yeah, so let's just do like a quick sum up of what this is, like this protocol or this proposal, right? It's in line with the idea of Bitcoin needs more like functionality.
Okay, yeah, right.
More ways to execute logic. Like that's one of the more difficult things. That obviously that's like a native part of Ethereum, right, with smart contracts and stuff. But there are no smart contracts on Bitcoin. So how do you achieve some sort of a process where you can leverage, what exists with the ordinal and inscription process, and put the necessary data on chain that you can call back through other types of inscriptions and stuff like that. So that's what this ecosystem represents, which I don't think that description is doing it justice in any way, because there's a lot more moving parts in this, but still that's the overall ethos behind like what the attempt.
So what Merlin is developing here is a framework so that we can leverage coded inscriptions and put it all together to make some sort of application.
Yeah, something, right?
Yeah.
Leveraging a protocol or like, again, like a whole new standard where, like we can create like functional systems around Bitcoin, right?
Yeah. Which
obviously is very important, right? You can't have like true value, I guess, without this.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's why DeFi exists. There's a lot of different, like just the bare minimum stuff of like, I don't know, programmable like tokens.
Yeah.
Like right now you have to mint like your fixed supply of things, but what if you want to create some sort of like an inflation or deflationary mechanism, right?
I totally agree.
Yeah. That fits in within your token economic system.
Yeah.
So this is very like bare. This is infrastructure, dude. This is as infrastructure as it gets.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
That's our jam, dude.
I know, but we need to really truly understand this more. So anybody wants to come on?
Yeah, Merlin, dude. If you want to come on and chat it up about Boss and your 9 other projects, dude,
please.
Open invitation for sure.
Oh yeah, if you want to do like a Twitter space around this, whatever. But yeah, we prefer this format just because this is our home.
Yeah.
This YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, anybody, even if you're in the community and you deeply like support this, reach out to us and we want to feature it. We want to do like a full deep dive because this is very important.
Yeah, I totally agree. We got another tweet here talking about ordinals, and there's this thing called Dimension 7 reinscriptions. It's a little known feature of Ordinals, and Ordinal can actually be inscribed multiple times. Each one is immutable. The way to think about it, it is not that you are overwriting the previous one, but that there are infinite canvases for each Ordinal. So leveraging reinscriptions. So this leads to a powerful feature, dynamic NFTs. The way to do this is to create immutable NFTs that reference an ordinal for a dynamic parameter. With reinscriptions, ordinals can record changes of state and serve as the dynamic parameter of an immutable NFT.
Yeah.
So you can imagine like you would, everybody knows Pokemon, right? Charmander, Charmeleon to Charizard.
Yeah.
Like that, you could see that progress happening on chain, right? You're reinscribing, right? You're going from Charmander to Charmeleon. You're reinscribing that, and you're forming a new animal there. So
yeah, so that's it's again, this kind of falls in line with what it is Merlin and the Oshi team are trying to do, right? Again, add more functionality, create more dynamic ability within like these inscriptions themselves, right?
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's.
So we like talking about this because it gives us ideas on how we can leverage all the development, because we can't build everything ourselves. For example, right? If we're running a project, we need to leverage everybody's like contributions to the ecosystem, and this is how we do it.
I mean, really, all we could do is follow along with how the infrastructure rolls out, right? And then of course there's like a period after infrastructure. First, things have to be proposed, right? And then things have to get adopted, which takes time, right? Yeah. And then once things are adopted, then platforms, devs, they start to implement these things. And then now it truly becomes standard at that point, right? So we've been through this before on the Ethereum side. We've had to wait around for almost the whole year for like the layer 2 standards to kind of emerge. Right. It's kind of like the life of a Web3 developer, right?
That's true.
Yeah. It's a lot of like just analyzing what's everybody working on and what's everybody like agreeing. It's like, this is how we should be doing it.
Yeah. Once they release a product, it's like, now I can use it.
Right, but it's important for everybody listening or watching is to also follow along, even if you're not a developer, right? Because you want to be able to identify who are the developers tapping into these new like frontier standards, right? And applying them as quickly as possible, because if you can get in on those initiatives like at the ground level, I mean, that's where the potential lies, right?
Yeah, agreed.
Some of those, like let's bring up QuickSwap, right?
Yeah.
One of the biggest like 1000x's on this channel, right? And it was because it was the first like DeFi platform to leverage Polygon's layer 2.
Yeah, and we knew about it just simply because we were in Decentraland, and Decentraland was transitioning to Polygon, and we were like, we got Polygon manas, like how do you swap this? Didn't exist. QuickSwap came out. We're like, hey, this is valuable. Yep. Boom, 1000x in like a couple of weeks.
Exactly. So that's exactly why you want to stay along, even though this isn't like something you can like, okay, where's the BRC20 token about this? Like, that's not what's happening here. This is more like infrastructure that leads to new tokens, new standards, whatever that will bring in the market value, right?
Yeah. This is an opportunity for max entertainment.
That's right.
Yeah. So
those are all key points of entertainment only.
All right, and of course, we haven't forgotten about SRC20. Shout out. I forgot the individual's name that mentioned this in our latest comments in our video.
Dude, I feel like we definitely, you know who you are.
Actually, hold on, let me find it. Proper due diligence here.
Correct.
Give me a second.
Yeah, we always like it when somebody, in the community, block runner community, when you guys find something interesting to bring to us so that we can, do our own due diligence and look into it. So many times it has led us to like gold. Yeah. So many times. So we want to reinforce that.
So it is this individual here, Ibra Mashakil.
You butchered that bad, I'm pretty sure.
I apologize for butchering the name, but it says, looks like you guys forgot about SRC20s. While transfer functions were being worked on, SRC20 transfers are official wallet and official wallet are being enabled today at block height 796,000, which is literally...
It already happened, right?
It already happened.
Okay.
Devs had to revamp the code from the ground up to not rely on Counterparty and XCP after a civil war that almost destroyed stamps and SRC20.
Holy shit, dude, we missed a lot, dude.
We missed a whole war messing around with bitmaps, dude.
Dude, there's a war going on just always. Dude, why is everyone so freaking mean?
Yeah.
Why can't we just not fight? But anyways, okay, apparently we missed like the craziest war of all time.
Yeah, but now the community is better than ever. No more reliance on Counterparty, unprunable, and independent stamps for the win.
Yeah, I wonder why Counterparty gets so much. Well, remember when we first talked about stamps? Like the main thing was like the inefficiencies related to those transactions, right? They were very expensive in relation to like an ordinal transaction. Like that was a problem. But the trade-off was like they were printable, right? Mm-hmm. Or non-printable. Yeah.
At the time they were printable. I guess now they're not.
Oh, well, there was a trade-off to where like you have to spend more, or minting a stamp. Mm-hmm. But, I guess now not Counterparty's not involved.
Yeah, now they're immutable.
Right.
And so as a result, there's a landmark second SRC20 token transaction for Kevin. Token sales for 0.17 and a half Bitcoin. Yeah, so roughly $5,000 for 1.26 million Kevins.
Yeah, these are literally happening today. Like we're catching, which as of posting this video will probably be yesterday, but
yeah,
we're seeing these hit the Twitter space, and it's pretty important. This is a validation that a market is forming.
That's right. That's right.
Just like whenever we saw the first Bitmap starting to sell, it was like, holy shit, like there's something happening here.
Yeah.
Anytime like a new market emerges and enters like the space, like that's something to take notice of.
Right. Okay, so we talked about Ethscriptions. Here's the website. All the links will be in the description. Merlin, shout out. If you want to join the podcast, let us know. We talked about the Bitcoin reinscriptions. Mm-hmm. Good old Kevin being purchased for $5,000 on SRC20s. And, of course, shout out to Ibra here. Appreciate the comment there. And
yeah, hopefully when we get more time, we'll do a deeper dive into all of these topics we just brought up. So definitely tune into our hour-long podcast because I think that'll be the best opportunity for us to do that.
Yeah.
Have a much deeper discussion on all of these developments. Because like you said, it's not just Bitmap, even though we love it. It's not just Bitmap out there. Everything is in full swing.
It's a big world out there.
It's it truly is.
Yeah. All right, guys, I appreciate it. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at The Block Runner, at MetaZone.io, and at Rovi AI, and we will catch you in the next video.
Peace.